This is the double L modifier, a secret modifier only leaked publicly twice, first appearing in early August 2022. But to understand how this modifier came to be, we have to go back to the start. Now, Roblox TDS game takes major inspiration from the OG tower defense game Roblox known as Tower Battles. Both of these games share similar aspects, such as the commander ability or maybe even the whole railgunner tower. Now, even with these inspirations being similar, this tower defense game is not your normal one. In its early days, it was really meant to be a school project, but with its ever-growing community, it has evolved into the game we've all known, come, and love today. But arising from the game's ever-growing success, a new feature had arrived, changing the game's course forever, and of course, I'm talking about the modifier feature. Modifiers are a game mode specific feature which can alter the gameplay by a huge margin, with each having different effects on the gameplay mechanics for each game. And along the years, the game has received continuous updates bringing the game to average tens of thousands of players each day, with the game having 5 million group members and a total of 3 billion visits. But the game's development team has secretly kept a ton of exclusive features from us, leaving us in the dark about many of these lost pieces of content. But in the year which many people call the game's prime, modifiers have finally been released along with the Fluid Wastelands 2 update, and has undoubtedly changed the game forever. And with players awaiting the return of this forever loved game mode, the hype was so big that it managed to bring in over 50,000 players. But of course, this is only the beginning to the endless rabbit hole of the abysmal amount of secrets shrouded in darkness over the game's release. Hello, my name is Nooks73, so you can simply call me Nooks. This channel is dedicated to uncovering the vast amount of secrets associated with the Roblox game known as Tower Defense Simulator. And today, we'll be uncovering the mystery of the secret double health modifier, showcased by several developers along the game's prolonging history. But before we move forward, if you could show us your support by liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and join the Discord for exclusive links for next videos and chance to be part of our upcoming ones. We genuinely appreciate your support, so from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. The Discord link can be found in the description. But let's get back into the video. This is the double health modifier. Now reportedly, this modifier basically is a randomized version of the health multiplier, ranging from 8 times the health to simply 2 times it. So in other words, if the Fallen King has this modifier, its health would range from 300,000 to 1.2 million HP. But the only catch is, we won't know the HP until we see it on screen. Now the weird part is, the randomization only applies to most of the enemies, while bosses such as the Void Reaver appear to have a set amount of health when the modifier appears. But for other bosses such as the Fallen Swordmaster, it falls in with the other enemies and has a random amount of health between the randomization. It's hard to fully uncover how this modifier works due to it never appearing since, but that's the best educated guess I have. Now some of the stuff I got here is from other people, so credit to No Hour, Very Chalk / Zuzu / Stare in the Walls for some of the information. This modifier essentially makes the game, well, have the enemies which respond supposedly gain 2 times their normal HP. Now modifiers were soft launched back in the Wanted Dead update, which came out in September of last year, nearly a year ago. Now with this, the time span between the Blue update and Wanted Dead update is about 2 months, which should give the developers plenty of time to add a secret modifier into the game. This can be backed up since it was first leaked back in early August of 2022, meaning this theory could be somewhat correct. So the very first time it was shown was in a developer abuse video featuring their retired TDS developer, Zuzu. So the video first starts with Zuzu showcasing the Admin Plus exclusive Umbrella Gladiator skin, and not long after that, Zuzu proceeds to give everyone in the server something they've never seen before, which is locked cash. Now locked cash basically means infinite cash, in which even if you place a tower or max it, the cash amount will always stay the same. After this, he proceeds to spawn in Mark 5, which appear to be from the admin panel. Now this is where it gets really weird, because the modifier I mentioned debuts along with the mutation modifier in a 600,000 health Fallen Swordmaster. Now this actually just seemed pretty chill, until Zuzu decided to spawn in 5 more with a total of 3.8 million HP combined. I mean, that's pretty minuscule if you ask me. Now I'm not even going to try and count this one, but he spawns with what appears to be 30 plus Mark 5s along with turrets on a cliff spot. Basically, as soon as the turrets lock on, the Fallen Swordmaster is instantly killed, which is due to the fact that Zuzu either used something in built-in admin panel or the self-made one, which allowed him to spawn in 1,220 turrets and 1 more machine gun. And yes, I did the math. This is also further because once it enters a certain range, it loses 100,000 HP immediately. And if you still don't believe me, the more towers placed on each other, the darker the placement square. Not long after, something happens in basically so much DPS is consecutive within 1 second that I literally crashed the game. But the sad part is that we never got to see what actually did that much DPS in such a short time. And before you say it was the turrets, they weren't even in range by then, so that's impossible. After that, another chain of marks appear along with Zazul, maxing Gladiator, and capping the place limit on all towers. Now sometime when he rejoined, Zazul stacks 8 pursuits under each other and somehow locks them in place to stop circling, but after this, Zazul spawns in hardcore enemies which include the Void Reaver, which has, somehow, 4.8 million health, which now means for a total of 12 minutes, the Void Reaver was the tankiest enemy in the entire game. But sometime after this, Zazul proceeds to spawn in 5 more Void Reavers, with a total combined HP of 25 million HP. And because of this, what looks to be about 50 souls spawning with a total of 5,000 health points. And they die. Now I assume this was due to Zazul selling the turrets, but I guess that's just my guess. And credit to Oni_Floof for this video, link in description. Now the next video is from someone you actually might recognize, aka No Hour, and credit to him for the second video. Now in the second video, which was made 9 days before the Violent Night trailer's release, Zuzu, the same person mentioned before, spawns the same modifiers in before, with the addition of the Polluted Wastelands 2 modifier, which makes all fallen enemies replaced with polluted enemies. Now in other words, each special game mode is a locked fallen mode, but when some of the enemy changer modifiers appear, it changes the wave structure by a tiny bit while replacing the fallen mode enemies with the special game mode enemies. So basically, the tank is the commander in Pizza Party, the tank is the tank in Badlands 2, and the tank is the Abomination in Polluted Wastelands 2. Now this modifier can also change things like rewards, which contains a reward cap from 200 coin to 1,190 points. So I guess you can kinda call it a sort of reskin wave structure training modifier. Now Zazul then gives Firestorm No Hour 1 billion cash and then an uncapped placement limit, and then just leaves. Now there isn't much to dissect here, besides the information I provided on the modifiers beforehand, but on wave 30, the Abomination spawns with 160,000 HP and later dies. But if you know the mechanics of the mini-boss, it respawns as a reanimated enemy with half its original HP, and this basically just kills them. And this is where it would have ended, if not for this video. A video which I discovered only a day after finding the previous ones, showcasing TDS developer Out of Bears, as some people call him, next year, playing with what seems to be associates of him. Right off the bat, we can see mayhem happening with the 5 modifiers, war machines, mark fires, and turrets on a cliff. Editor's note: there's also a soundtrack playing in the background which sounds like something in the Floodscape, but I have no idea where the audio comes from, but it could be a scrap game mode or event OST. Now this is the most recent video, as it was uploaded a mere 5 months ago, which semi-confirms the modifier still exists in the game, or at least the code itself. The 5 modifiers shown in this video are the enemy's beta modifier, mutation modifier, double health modifier, nuclear modifier, and birthday modifier, which, believe it or not, makes another quote-unquote exclusive modifier inked by member of the staff team. And yes, I say another because there are a lot more modifiers made before it was first soft launch, which I may go over in a future video, one of which was actually the translated modifier. But right off the bat, even with masses of polluted wasteland enemies and 2 health-ending modifiers, they've had no problem with the game so far, leading me to assume that next year has just recently added these modifiers into the game. This is obviously further backed up by the amount of cash Current has currently, meaning that they're essentially doomed for the late game due to the lack of DPS towers and cash they currently have. Now, not much is really going on until we see an Abomination spawn in which you can think nothing of, until it respawns and speeds its way all the way to the end of the base so fast that it breaks every single tower placed down. After that, we can slowly see that the polluted enemies are slowly trickling their way along the path and getting really close to the exit. Even Next knows this is going to end in death as he starts using Ally command, which places the selected tower, level, and amount onto the X, Y, and Z position of your Roblox character. But this all comes to fall as I foretold earlier, as immediately when they make it to wave 39, they're overwhelmed with hordes of polluted enemies and essentially no defense to counter them, resulting in them dying to what almost killed them before. By the way, the next video will be on the Moderator Tower, as I found a lot more information to discuss over it. And that is the double health modifier covered in full detail. Now I'm sure there's something in this video that was maybe false, but for now, this is all you have to work with. But let me know if you want me to cover other hidden admin exclusive things or leaks, because I have a lot of hidden stuff in the barrel from my iceberg document. I'll make another video over with the modifier to find any other information regarding it. But if you do, just DM me. I'll be in the Discord. Speaking of which, you should join because I will be hosting competition TDS for Robux. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.